It might be hard for you to hear, but you're not overwhelmed because everyone needs you. Sorry. The truth is that you're overwhelmed because you believe they should all come second, but you don't actually make sure that's the case. Let's talk about how the real issue is not other people's demands. It's actually your time boundaries. I have been here so many times. When I yell at you like this, it's out of love, and it's because I would give myself the same talking to. The number of times I've thought to myself, if I could just have a little bit more space, I would feel better, I would get ahead, I would be okay. But here's the thing, people will always take what you make available. I love to quote my favorite children's book. If you give a mouse a cookie, they're going to ask for a glass of milk. The more you have readily available, the more there is to take. And the better people are at asking, they'll ask. And the nicer you are, and as good as you can be by putting other people's needs first, you will continue to take and take and take from yourself to make sure they're okay. Before you know it, you're not. So let's stop taking the easy way out. Let's stop blaming everyone else for our burnout. It's time to take your power back. The first thing that's gonna help you so much with this is understanding the difference between capability and capacity. You're not drowning because you can't swim. You're drowning because you never take a break. You never get rest. You never allow the process to pause. We as women specifically are so busy showing the world how wonderfully capable we are. You're capable of everything. Believe that. But that is the problem. We don't have to prove how much we're capable of. Not in every single way, in all aspects of our life. We get to make the call. And you get to be perfectly capable at doing something and still not do it. That's called asking for help. What happens is we think we have a certain amount of capacity and then we fill it up with all of our capability. But because we're so dang good at everything, or at least figuring out how to be good at everything, we fill up all of that capacity. We don't even think to ourselves that maybe we'd like a little bit of space. It turns out expansion, getting more capacity, is not so we can do more, fill it in more with more things that we can do. It's about making room. Room to enjoy the life that we want, room to feel the feelings of how things are going, room to recognize when something's not going the way we want it to go so we can stop putting the ladder against a building that we're not even enjoying climbing. Capability has become your superpower and you lean on it so hard. It is now also your weakness. One of the hardest things I had to hear was my business coach say to me that your competence is killing your business. Because you prove your competence in so many areas, you refuse to let go. You refuse to let go of your email, you refuse to let go of your calendar, you refuse to let go of your video editing, you refuse to let go of managing every single thing your team does. You refuse to let go of the laundry in your house when you could be getting paid $500 an hour to do something else. The competence is killing you. So the question becomes, what have you been saying yes to that you don't necessarily have to do, you definitely don't need to do, but because you were asked, you can do it, and so it has just become your default reaction. It's okay if some of those things are trending in a direction that you want them to be and you were unexpectedly okay with it. But the number of things that are breaking the camel's back are the moments when you say yes because you can, but you really don't want to. It's what you become known for and you don't like it. It's what people rely on you for and you'd rather it weren't the case. The funny thing is you lose some capability the more you say yes to things that you don't actually want to do out of guilt or habit. You're losing the opportunity to become capable in ways that you only dream about, the things that you go to sleep at night wishing you made more time for, the things that you'd like to see be true for yourself in your 20 and 30-year vision. How are you doing for the things that you want for yourself? Have you said yes to that lately? Which is what leads me to number 2. It's time to create your hell yes list. You guys know I don't cuss on this channel very often. It's few and far between. But there's just no phrase that can elegantly replace hell yes. These are the moments when somebody says, I would like you to do this, and you go, me? Really? That's so exciting. I tell my clients, it's like, this is what I do and this is what I want to do. So when somebody brings you this work, you're like, I get paid for this. But when somebody brings you this work, you go, I get paid for this? That's a hell yes. We want to know what the hell yeses are because they could take up copious hours, weeks on your calendar, and you will show up with bells on every time. Even if it's hard, even if the work is kind of nitty gritty and sucks, you'll be so happy to be there. So happy. Whenever anybody asks me, sometimes we'll do a press day for a brand. I'll partner with a brand. I will go to a studio and I'll shoot like 30 press interviews in a day. That is a hell yes for me. I love to chat. I love to talk to the press about things that I love. So I will go and sit in a studio and I'll be like, yes, this is so cool. I can't believe I get paid for this. But I will also be slowly deteriorating and sweating and crying a little bit inside, uncomfortable in the same outfit forever in the same chair because it's hard work. I will still say yes to it every time because I love it. The work can be hard, but it's something I really want. And so I know if that's on my hell yes list, that when it comes along, that I want the time and space for that. The more I know that hell yeses are gonna come along because I am gonna make it so, I can't give the I don't think so's space on my calendar because then what if something like that happens? And I'm like, oh, I have to say yes to this. I don't want a lot of crap in the way that I have to reschedule, cancel, and let people down on. The best thing I can do is say no from the start. It's easier to do that when you know what you're running toward. So create your hell yes list. It could be that you want to be the leader of your daughter's Girl Scout troop. That sounds like a lot of work to some people. It sounds very undesirable to some people. And it could be the most exciting thing for you. Nothing to do with ambitions at work, everything to do with dedication to your kid. If that is on your hell yes list, it gets a spot. Now we know an aspiration, a thing we want to save time for. And when something else comes up and you think about what's on your hell yes list, whether it's career oriented, family oriented, travel oriented, it doesn't matter. You're going to look at those things and go, but I got so much on this stuff that I want to do. Whether or not it's actually happening, completely different discussion, all the more reason for me to keep the space for it so I can push it forward. Have a list. And guess what? It's so cool. It's like a request list to the universe, like more of this, please. That would be great. And there are going to be hell yeses that don't even show up on that list, but happen. Because the more you're putting your head in that space, the more you're going to be looking for opportunities like that and thinking that you are deserving of them and thinking that you are a fit for them and thinking that, hey, maybe I don't know how to do it yet, but I will learn because that opportunity is going to come my way. Make the list. Put it in front of you. Stare at it. Review it every single day. It will change your life. Speaking of life changing, if you're enjoying this video, then you're definitely going to love my newsletter. It's called The Role Model. It's 4 tips every week that I share with you to help you step into your power, start getting more time back, getting things done, and creating the life you want. Check out the link in the description down below. Now that you know you're creating some more space for really exciting things on your hell yes list, start to think about one question whenever you're looking at those things on your hell yes list. And the question is, what would have to be true? This is really important because we like to deal in truths a lot, especially when you look at a list of aspirations and you go, that's not me. This is so stupid. I don't know. It doesn't feel like me. No one will ever believe it. It has to start with you. So if you feel like you need to be in the land of truths that feel good, then you need to ask yourself, well, what would have to be true if these things were happening? Now, if you want to be someone who gets paid to travel, you need to ask yourself, what would have to be true? Am I doing things that would contribute to that opportunity potentially happening for me? We have to put a little bit of the work in to the direction where we want to go. It's not just going to fall into our lap because we thought about it. This is where the hell yes list, whether or not it's happening, starts to actually take up more time in your life. Because when you say, what would have to be true? What would have to be true for me to spend that amount of time with my kids? What would have to be true for me to no longer have a commute? What would have to be true for me to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube? What would have to be true? What are all the things that I would have to be doing? Or what are all the things that I would have to be thinking? Or what are all the ways that I would have to conduct myself differently for these things to come true to the best of my knowledge? And when you start to rectify your current actions with that list, wow, shifts happen. Because when you're saying, oh, I don't believe this could ever happen, you're thinking, oh, I know exactly why I don't believe those things could happen, because I'm not doing anything that would attract that type of thing into my life. So don't just have this amazing list of things you hope to do more of and would put on the calendar if they were actually happening. Make it happen. Make it happen by saying, what would someone like that be doing when they wake up in the morning, or doing throughout the day, or doing when they get out of work, or doing with their kids? What would they be doing? What would they be thinking? How would they be walking through life? This question is going to turn frustration and distance from a goal into a strategy to start emulating that vision. Speaking of what would have to be true, if you hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you would have to subscribe because you're enjoying this video. That would be great. Thank you. The next thing you're going to do is super simple, super logistical, and super for getting your mind space and energy back. And that is to stop redoing things on your do once list. I talked about this in a recent video where I talked about the weekly rhythm reset. There's a lot of things that we have to do on a regular basis, and there are a lot of things that we do on a regular basis that we don't. So making plans or starting from scratch on things that happen all the time take up brain space and remove the ability to be more creative. So there's probably a lot of things that you do consistently that if just were done well once, then would be a process you could continue to follow and fall in line. Sometimes you're gonna find that something you could do once and say, this is the new standard for myself, or do less often, is going to tee you up to be better available and more open to things on your hell yes list. Where can you find things that take too much time, tasks you have to do, the chores, the routine of it all, that because of it, you're blaming outside sources? I have to make sure everybody's fed. I have to make sure all the laundry's done. I have to. Can you remove some of those factors so that you get a little bit of time back for that space to be able to make bigger things happen? I highly recommend you check out that video. It's going to help you get your life together just 1 week at a time. But the reason why all of this is so hard, the time management, the making bigger plans, the doing more with our lives, the reason it's hard is because we're trying to do everything in our head. Everything. Be creative, make bigger plans, and also do the mundane crap. It's all happening in our head. We don't get it out. We don't make it a process. We don't make it a thing we write down. Anything you think of that doesn't belong in your brain to think about more than once belongs written down on a piece of paper, okay? If you just do that, you make space. You trick your brain into thinking it's done, even if it's just a silly little task that has to get done. Take the trash out. Just write it down. Trick your brain, because you want to remind your mindset to stay in the game that's most advantageous for you. And that's the stuff on your hell yes list. So what are the things that you're doing too often that don't need to be done all the time that are taking that space away from you? If you had a better system in place for it, would you have more time? Would you have more energy? And the last tip I'm going to give you is that people are going to people. People are always going to people. People are peopling while you're peopling. And you're peopling with yourself. Like, what am I going to do in this situation? Listen, the reason why it feels like everyone else is taking from you is because you're just not prepared. One of the things you do very often that if you just had a system for and you could do once and never have to do again, the last tip I gave you, is prepare your response for when people ask you to do things that you don't want to do. Or not just things you don't want to do, things you haven't decided on yet. There is a rare rare moment where somebody asks you for help or asks you to do something or asks you to attend something that they actually need you to decide in that moment. It's very rare. Very rare. So when you have these different scenarios in your brain that you can think about of, well, my boss is always asking me to do this and it interrupts me. Or my kids always need this and it interrupts me. Or my family member always asks me for this and it interrupts me. When you have these scenarios, they play back like a record, broken, just all the time. It's just going around and around and you do the same thing every time. And you stop for them and you stop for them and you stop for them and you never stop for yourself. Plan your response. There's no need to react. Plan your response. How will you respond when your boss orders you to do something? How will you respond when somebody asks you for something? When you have that done in advance, where you can say, allow me to reset and I'll get back to you, you can say that to everyone. You can say that to everyone. There's going to be different contexts for different reasons, but you can say that to everyone. And you know what? If they ask you, when are you going to get back to me? You can say, as soon as possible, but I need a second to review everything and then I will get back to you. It may seem like every single person needs your immediate response and you better say yes in that moment. Not the case. More respect for you when you finally recognize, not the case. Test it. Try me. Take a beat. Let everyone know you intend to get back to them. You are not ghosting. You are going to give a response, a thoughtful one, an intentional one, an absolute yes or an absolute no or an absolute let's figure it out when you've had a moment to collect your thoughts and review the whole situation so you can let them know. You don't have to blame everyone else when the truth is that you're not giving yourself the power, the benefit, the authority to say, I can make a thoughtful decision if only given a couple minutes to do that. These are the moments that break the cycle. So if you actually want to break the cycle, it might not work the first time, it might not work the second time. But if you are always looking for an opportunity to break the cycle, it is more likely to be the case. It is more likely to be possible that you make a change. That's how you stop blaming other people and take your power back. Fix the time management problems by fixing your mindset. But if you're still struggling with how to stay focused on getting things done, click here and I'll see you there.